with Module 3 of TKT and Part 1. The Part 1 is Teachers and Learners Language in the Classroom. We are going to continue with Unit 27, is Using Language Appropriately for a Range of Classroom Functions. Okay, so to start, first I'm going you to please think of some of the function language that we can use in the classroom, and please list them. List the functions and their exponents. For example, you can have instructing. Instructing is the function language that you use, and the exponent could be, for example, will you. Okay, so I want you to please think of some of the language functions and tell me some of the exponents that you can use. You have 1 minute to think. Can someone tell me one function language? Please, Anita, do you have any?
Maybe requesting.
Okay, very good. But can you tell me an exponent for requesting that you can use? For example, in instructing, it was will you. For
Yeah. Can you give me?
Perfect. Thank you very much. So let's go to your books to page 184. There you have a question to start with the unit. It says, how do we use language appropriately for classroom functions? Estefania, can you tell me an idea that comes to your mind thinking about this question without reading? How do we use language appropriately for classroom functions?
I think that the teacher should introduce the language functions by context. Like,
yes.
For example, as they taught us how to read, and they say when you start or when you meet new people, you say hello, how are you? So I think it's in context.
Very good. So in your classes, you can introduce that when you come into the classroom and you say good morning, students, and they answer you. That's excellent. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, thank you.
So now please, we are going to review some of the language functions that we have into the classroom. Please go to page 184. Okay, in this page we have a little conversation or a little situation in the classroom. There we have I think four persons. Yes, I need please 4 people in order to help me with this conversation. Okay, Rosita, Gaby, Sue, and Anita, can you help me please? So Anita, you could be the teacher. Sue, you can be the Adam. Rosita, you could be Evie, and Gaby, you could be Shona. And I need one more for Gloria. Being Brenda. Okay, so please can you do the dialogue that we have here?
Stand up, Adam. Stand up, Evie. Okay, Adam. We'll ask Evie, and Evie will answer. Yes, read this one.
May I borrow your pencil, please? Here you are.
Now come on, Evie. Look at Adam.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, Shona and Brenda. Come on, Shona, ask.
May I borrow your pencil, please?
Brenda, look at Shona.
You're welcome.
Welcome. borrow your pencil, please? Brenda, a bit louder. Look at each other when you ask questions.
Okay, thank you, very good. So, according to this little situation in the classroom, what functions of language do you think that the teacher is using into the classroom in this part? Okay, very good. We have requested. Anything else? Or another function? Andres?
Asking for information.
Okay, asking could be, or it could be requesting us. So, I have here a little summary of the functions teacher is using in that situation. First of all, the teacher is getting learners information. In this part, the teacher is using short utterances in order to get the learner's attention. As for example, we have an expression that says stand up. Then we have instructing. In the instructing, teacher uses a kind of sequence and also use the imperatives. Like for example, in this part, we have will you ask, Adam, will you ask, and Brenda, will you answer, and things like that. Modeling. In this part, the teacher uses the target language, and also the teacher uses a structure. Maybe the structure of the things that the teacher is modeling may be written on the board in order to let the students to repeat. Then we have encouraging. This function of encouraging help the students to get more confidence with the topic, because there are some students that they don't like to talk too much, so the teacher needs to encourage by saying come on or things like that in order to let the students talk. We have nominating. This part is related to when the teacher asks a student to participate. For example, I can say Gabi or Alice, so I'm not nominating. It's choosing a learner in order to do a task. We have also a prompting. Prompting it could be similar to encouraging, because in this part the teacher helps learners to think or to come up with some ideas. So according to how to use language appropriately, we have some situations, and the situations could be with formality or informality. So we have to teach our students which language they can use in either of those situations. So also when the students do not understand better the language, the teacher must use the mother tongue in order to explain, and also have to make use of gestures and body language to let the students understand what the teacher is saying. Thank you.
Okay. Even though some teachers use the target language with gestures and ways to make them understand the students, there are some situations in which they are obligated to use the mother tongue. For example, the first situation is with problems of discipline. It is when teachers have to use the mother tongue when she wants to get the control of the classroom. Possible injury of danger of a learner. It is when, for example, a table is broken, so the teacher has to talk with the student in using Spanish in this case. Looking after a learner. When the teacher notices that something is happening with the student,
For example, if a student has a problem with himself at home or personal thing. Repeating instructions in L1 after they have been given the target language. Because, for example, in elementary courses, there are some students that they don't get the instructions well. So the teacher has to repeat it in the mother tongue. And finally, to checking understanding of more abstract vocabulary, it is used on advanced learners when when they use more complex vocabulary. Now the key concepts that the learner teaches classroom. There are some exponents that must be appropriate for the classroom function, for the learning context, and the purpose for the level and age. It means that the language that the teacher used to the learners has to do with the age, and the behavior of the classroom. Then we have the language should be graded to suit the language level and age of the learners, because there are some learners, for example, in beginners, beginners use more simple structures, while in advanced learners use more complex. So at the moment to grade them, we as teachers should be taking into account the level and age of the students. Then we have the language needs to be sequenced and in a logical order. It means that when we give them structures, we have to use logic and sequence in order to make them understand. Learners can learn by chunks. So at the beginning, we can use, for example, open your books on page ta-ta-ta, but then when they get familiar with the chunks and get more into the language, we can use a wide range of chunks. Finally, to choose the exponents we are going to use in the classroom function before the lesson is important, because if we don't plan the exponents and the functions, we can use the mother tongue or too simple grammar structure or too complex vocabulary. That is a lack of respect for the students. Now, you have any question up to here? No? Now, in groups of four, please, I need you to work in the follow-up activities. Please, I need to join in groups of four. Susanna, could you please work with Gabby? You, Danny? Yeah, okay. Nominating, right? Why?
Because he's saying a name.
Instead of name. Don't forget when the teacher calls somebody else to ask by naming someone, is nominating. Thank you very much.
Okay, now to continue, we are going to go to page 188, please. On your book. Okay. There we have the reflection activity, and one person is going to tell me if you agree or disagree and why with the next statement. Okay, please, Rosita. Read the first one and tell me if you agree or not and why.
I don't need to think about the exponents. I'm going to use in my lessons. I just say what comes into my head. For example, when I'm explaining some language or setting up group work.
Okay, do you agree or not and why?
Actually, I don't agree because I think that I should prepare some expressions or vocabulary depending on the group we are working with. Maybe if they are just beginners, we should think carefully on which expressions we're going to use in order to make or let them understand us.
Very good, Rosita. That's excellent because remember the key concepts that we read and we learned about this unit. One of them is choosing the exponents we are going to use for a classroom functions before the lesson. That is important. So that was all for today. Thank you very much.